Hi everyone, it's Sue. Welcome back. So, have a guess what today's prompt is. It's your favourite colour, and of course, my favourite colour is pink. So, we're at day 17 of the hashtag JJ Tag a Day for February. So, I've just grabbed out some bits and pieces of pink. So, pink and teal are my favourite colours. So, I've just grabbed a bit of teal as well. I don't know whether I'll use it yet. I'm going to use the coffee dyed cardstock there for the bases, just for a little bit of contrast again. I'll cut them down. And I don't know how many I'll end up doing. It's funny, you know, pink's my favourite colour, but I really struggled to get some bits and pieces together to do this, which is just ridiculous. But I'm just going to use my card there and cut down those pieces of cardstock into tags. I put so much pressure on myself to come up with something for these tags using my favourite colour. And I struggled, to be honest with you. So I thought I'll just start by adding a little bit of something to the back of one of these coffee dyed tags because they are quite busy. And I'm just adding a bit of script, just using the archival ink there in vintage, no. So it's coffee, not vintage photo, coffee. Just to sort of add something a little bit different than that full-on coffee stain there. Now, most of this will probably be covered up anyway, but it's just something to sort of get me started. I decided to back the tags with coffee dye paper, sew around them and add a little bit of ink. And then I'm just going to sort of have a bit of a play around and try and position a few bits and pieces. I found this card with some pink flowers. I forget what they're called. And this is from one of Sam Poole's kits. I'll try and find it and put it in the description box if I can. And I just thought, well, I'll try and use that as a centerpiece. I've just distressed the edges of that card. And I think I'm going to try and back it with some of this pink tissue paper that I've got. I'm just going to really randomly tear the tissue paper, and you will see I layer it with quite big pieces, but I do that for a reason, just so that I can tear it down to fit. I'm going to scrunch it up a little bit to give it a little bit more texture, and then I'll layer it underneath that floral card. I decided to sew around that card. It just needed something extra on it, and I love sewing. You don't have to sew, it's totally up to you. I'm going to glue that down now to those layers of tissue paper, and I'm going to just tear away the tissue and then sort of wrap it a little bit over the card just to soften it all. I just wanted like a nice soft effect, and it's something a little bit different than using cheesecloth all the time. You could use any colour tissue paper, or you could even coffee dye it. I would imagine it would dye okay, or just even ink up some white tissue paper. So I'm just tearing randomly, and then I'm just going to rough it up. I'm going to glue some of the tissue to the actual card there just to soften the card. So I'll just go around all the edges until I'm happy with the effect. I wanted to use these little pink doilies somehow, and I decided to cut it in half and put the half on the top, so like instead of having ribbon, it's just like a little tab on the top. And then I had this really nice velvet, it's a really different pink, I don't know what sort of pink you would call that. It's got this really lovely little organza ruffle on the bottom, so I decided I'm going to add that to the bottom. And then I thought I wanted to have a little bit more sewing, just for a bit more texture. So once the glue dries, I end up sewing along the lace there, and then also on the half doily that I use as a tab at the top of the tag. I'm really loving how this card's coming together, this tag's coming together, going from not really knowing what I wanted to do. So it's nice and feminine. I liked the way it was looking, but I just felt that it probably needed a dangle of some sort. So I've put some pink beads on a bulb pin, and I'm using a pink label out of my Lots of Label digital kit. I'll put the link down below for that. Dropped all the beads off the pin when I picked it up. So I ended up putting a little grommet or eyelet in the top of that tag too, just to sort of give it a little bit more strength. I'm struggling to pick it up here. And then I'm just going to, once I've picked up all the beads, I'm going to pin it to the top of the doily there and just have it hanging on the tag. I think it just finishes it off nicely. What do you think? I decided I'm going to do a second tag, and I'm going back to that first one that I stamped some script onto, and I've got some of these packaging, brown paper packaging that one day I just did a lot of modelling paste on, just didn't, and left them white, so I just thought I'll just add that as an accent on one side, and I'm just wrapping it around the back. So I'm just gluing that on. These are really handy just to add another little bit to your pieces, and I love having them on hand. I'll have to sit down and have another day where I do a heap, because I'm not very patient with letting things dry. So if you can do a whole heap at once, they're there and they're ready for you. So I'm just trimming that up. Now I'm going through my little ephemera folder here, and I've got all these fussy cut flowers, and I'm pulling out all my pink ones that I can find. I've got so many because, well, my favourite colour is pink, obviously. So I just needed to get a few to just try on the tag and see which one I liked. Now I'm just going to add a bit of layering. I was determined to use one of these doilies again, and I decided to go back to the other half that I cut. So I just want to do a little bit of layering with that. I just like the softness of them. So I am going to cover up some of that brown packaging with the modelling paste on it. That doesn't worry me. It's all about layering, just so you can see a sneak peek of that modelling paste underneath. So I'm pretty happy with that. I'm just trying to work out where I'm going to put the flower, the roses, and do I want a label on it? Where am I going to put the label? Just mucking around with it here, as you can see. And I just work on it until I'm happy with what I come up with, and put it down. I ended up putting the label down the bottom, and I add a little bit of the pink tissue paper for layering again. I'll just speed up this part of the video as it's pretty self-explanatory, and you can just see this tag come together. So you can see I bought in a little bit of teal in the end, and I've used a couple of the oval labels from my Lots of Labels #1 kit, and I really like that. It actually, in the bottom there of the roses, there's a tealy coloured leaf, so it matches in really nicely. And I've put an eyelet in there, and I've decided I want to put a dangle from there, but the bulb pin didn't sit properly, so I found some split pins. I didn't show you that part because I'm so awkward trying to work split pins out. And I've decided to put a little pearl in there. I wanted to put a little pink gem, but it wouldn't fit. The hole wasn't big enough. So if you can hear a bell in the background, that's Benny wanting me to play with him because I'm not giving him attention. I apologise about that. So anyway, I have put the second split pin through the pearl, and I'm just closing that up, and I think it just adds a little something to the tag. That is day 17 done. So I really enjoyed putting them together in the end. I really like how they turned out. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. And until next time, I hope you get a little bit of creative time in. Take care. See you soon.